In a broken wasteland, come to my fire.
What's going on, metalheads? Thank you all for tuning into this week's episode of the Metal Forge. My name is Mark Jackson, and I am your host. And this week, you can already see my guest is Mr. Kevin Patterson from the band Plague Ritual.
What is up, brother? Happy to be back. It's been a while.
Dude, yeah, it's been a couple of years. It's interesting because I was going through the memories on Facebook and I saw where your episode was about to drop or something. And I was like, I need to reach back out to Kev and just talk, just hang out. Because the last time he was here, he was promoting a different band, which you might know as Hatred, which recently Plague Ritual acquired. Costa, the crazy man. I think he's used the picture from my phone as his profile picture for the longest time.
There you go.
Where he just steals people's phones and takes fucking selfies, and just completely hilarious dude. I love him to death.
Great.
I love watching his posts and. Yeah, but yeah, we're not here to talk about that this time. We are here to talk about Plague Ritual, which is a new venture. But before we get into it, dude, just what's going on? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. Busy. I got a lot of stuff going on. I work today. I've been planning a bachelor party for my brother. I'm trying to get this album done. So I've been all over the place, but it's been good. Busy is good. Busy is fun. So I'll take it. But yeah, we just acquired Costa, which is great. We just announced him not too long ago. We still have to go.
Yeah, back in March.
Yeah, we have to go set up a new photo shoot so that we can get a new promo photo with him in it. But yeah, me and him were so psyched to be working back with each other. I can't be happier to have him in the band. I've known that man since I was 13 years old. So to me, he's a brother. He's family. It's not just another person playing in a band with you. When I started this band, I was like, all right, let's get all the people that I'm really cool with who are great musicians and let's start a band.
Well, it's awesome because, it's the scene that you're into.
Right.
If it wasn't the scene that you're in, I would just sit there and say, that's pretty cool. But like the whole scene, going back to the beginning, do the same thing. When you really think about it, when you're talking about the legacy bands out there, the fucking Exodus, Metallica, fucking Possessed, fucking Death Angel, all the fucking violence. Yeah. Which fucking shout out to fucking Nick, man.
Shout out to Nick, dude. He's killing it over and
yeah.
I think he's in Bahrain right now. I'm like, man, I'm the one who did the flyer for that show, so I knew about that tour quite a bit in advance. And
sure.
I was like, oh, man, you're going to have a great time. So shout out to Nick. Love you, buddy. I hope you're killing it out there. I know you're eating lots of good food.
Hell yeah. And been following the posts on Facebook and everything. But yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like the whole fucking scene, no matter what generation it is, whether it's the could be grandparents of some by now.
We're getting close. Nick's son's starting to play some instruments, so it's
well,
coming.
Yeah, Papa Sousa instead of Zetro, fucking dude. But it's cool. I mean, it's one of those things that, like, playing music with your friends from a young age. And still being close as you're older is awesome. So fucking rad, because most people, they don't, people separate after fucking school and shit.
Yeah. I mean, it gets like, that's the hard part with bands or people that have, like, for instance, I was friends with Costa before we ever played any music together. Me and him were probably friends for at least 3 years before I even looked at potentially even being in Hatred. And this was when the band was like first starting. This is probably like Heroes of Origin era, maybe even before that. And then our bassist Dylan, like, he's been in almost every band I played in. So it's really nice getting people that I've known my entire life, and they want to do the exact same thing, and they're all in for it. They're in for the win, and it's like we all just think on the same page. We know how we.
You could pretty much fucking ask anybody,
Right.
if you needed to.
Those guys are arms reach away. So like our first song, yeah, I just hit up Phil Demmel. I mean, he has a bar that's
I
maybe 2
know.
blocks away from my house. So I was like, hey, I'm recording with Juan if you're gonna be in town, because he did Juan did the latest Violence EP, and so
Which is
everyone
fucking
knows each
amazing,
other.
by the way.
Juan's awesome.
Now that EP,
Oh
what did that come out in 21 or some shit at this point?
yeah, I was
It's
curious.
been a minute now. And it's just like, I would like to hear more because that was such good material. But now, now the lineup has changed dramatically again from that EP. Phil's gone and Nick's in there now, at least for live.
Right, right. So what I've heard is, I guess Sean said he wants to write. I think he said he wants to do something a little different from what the earlier record sounded like. He wants to do something a little new, something fresh, and supposedly something is in the works right now. I have
That's
no clue
rad.
what. I can't even. If I had a smidge of something, I'd tell you, but I don't have anything.
Oh no, no. I mean, you've probably already said too much, honestly.
I've only said what Sean has said publicly.
You know how the label shit gets around?
Oh,
Fuck. I mean, every email I get from a label is bound to fucking secrecy. It's almost as if you have to fucking give your firstborn to them.
yeah.
Even if you're not signed.
Every email attachment is actually just an NDA.
No shit. Yeah, really. By downloading this, you accept our terms of service, and you promise to, under litigation of law, that you will not distribute this material. Come on. So I'm a huge wrestling fan.
Okay. Costa's the biggest. Costa and Nick are.
Oh, I know they are. And
I
it reminds me of a thing that Ole Anderson said is like when the wrestling business went to shit is when the suits got involved.
Yeah.
And
It's all about
pretty much the same thing that happened in the fucking music business is when the suits got involved.
Everyone
when they
worries
became
about
credit
the
card
flash and
companies.
bang. Yeah. Everyone worries about the flash and bang and what people are gonna think about us on social media and what are we gonna wear, and it's become so much of that, not just metal, just the music industry as a whole. And it's like, okay, how about everyone just focuses on writing good music again?
Well, absolutely right on that. But looking at the underground scene of metal, and I mean, obviously everybody's goal, and whether or not they want to admit it or not, has always been those fucking massive ass audiences like fucking Metallica plays to, and fucking, and the Rolling Stones play to, and fucking, any of those bands. So the thing about it to me is just the fact that there are so many amazing bands that play on a local, regional, national, and granted, even on a world level. I mean, take Violence, for example. They're nowhere near the size of a Metallica.
Of course.
But they're playing in Bahrain right now.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
They're still world fucking touring, it's just not to the same scale. But those bands are out there. And I think with it's like the advent of the internet, especially in the music scene, it has got so much bigger, but people have forgotten a lot of the things that they used to do with it before when they heard by word of mouth.
Right.
Like the tape trade.
People don't realize, social media is a huge push for bands. If you do good social media numbers, or you can even get one hot video, it will get you a whole handful of fans if you can pull it off. But realistically, word of mouth, I talk I talk to my friends about new bands and new albums and stuff like that. I'd probably tell 50 people in person about music that I've listened to recently than me posting an album on my story, right? It's more common
Sure.
for me to talk to musicians about music than to go on Instagram and go, I like this album, you know? So I think people forget about that and they forget about the human element and how in touch people are. And especially like with this whole AI movement and music going AI, it's just people are going to crave that human element more and more and more and
Oh,
more.
sure.
And
Yeah.
word of mouth is, I still think, the best marketing.
You're right on that. And it once the novelty wears off,
Yeah.
there you go. When you get bands like, I don't know, like the fucking Sleep Token tour sold out the whole fucking stadium tour.
Right.
And but then again, once the novelty wears off, where's it gonna be?
Right.
You can't
So
go. I mean, you can't go bigger than that.
one of the best things that Zet ever told me was you go from somebodies to nobodies to legends. It's
Yeah, he's
100% true.
he's
It's
completely
100%
fucking
true.
right. I mean, that's the thing about it. And when you really get down to it, I mean, take Exodus for example. Prime example. Obviously, fucking Bailoff, rest in fucking power. Fucking didn't get. He had the one album, and
Right.
it's the quintessential, right? And then Zet's there, and fucking yeah, fucking totally great fucking material. And then he leaves, and then Rob's there, but Zet comes back, and now Rob's back. It's like, yeah, he's totally fucking right with fucking your somebodies, then your nobodies, then your legends. Because take a look at bands like Pentagram, even
Right.
who had or Satan. Satan is a perfect example. Fucking
I think
had
Pentagram too, because they recently got so much hype online off one video went viral and everyone's like in love with them all of a sudden. And I'm like, there you go. They're
and what's crazy is like with Bobby being canceled
I know.
with everything. And then, it was almost like I watched a weird transition happen where the canceling majority of people after that video went viral completely changed their tune and were like, but dude was in active addiction and you don't know what that does to people.
Yeah.
And it was just like immediately forgiven. And I was just like, wow. But my guitar player in Ice Howl mentioned that he did a video on this. And what was awesome about it was he did the thing of saying how what it was we were going shit, sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
Yeah.
How he is essentially opened a new generation up to doom metal.
Right, 100%. All these young kids on TikTok like see
That
that
are
video, they think it's funny, and then like it keeps circulating, and then like maybe the second or third time they see it, they're like, I actually kind of like this song, and then after that
yeah.
third or fourth time they look them up and then actually listen to the
And then
record.
they get
You
into,
know?
and not to mention, they were a band fucking at least a decade before their first album came out.
I
And they've
know.
got a ton of fucking like demo recording shit out there, which is totally rad. And I think they're a great second gen doom band, right after Sabbath.
100%. They have the sound, they have the look, they got the riffs. There's
Sure. And
not
and
much
it's
more
and
than
and what's
that.
cool about it is there's always been consistency no matter who's been in the band.
Right, right.
Kind of like with I just got an email from this dude the other day about promoting the new stuff that he's writing. Thor. John Michael Thor.
Okay.
Yeah, from the 70s, kind of punk infused with metal band. They had a hit, Keep the Dogs Away. Super fucking cool shit. Dude used
I'm
to
not
do sideshow
familiar, but I'll have
acts.
to check it out.
Dude, there is a documentary called I Am Thor. You need to watch it.
I got
Everyone
you.
needs to watch it because it
I know
came
what I'm
out
doing now.
about 5 or 6 years after uh This Is Spinal Tap Part 2.
Okay.
Uh the Anvil documentary.
Right,
This is
right.
Anvil, or whatever
Yeah,
it
this is
is.
Annabelle. Yeah.
Anvil is Anvil, something like that. Because everything has an alliterative title. Um, but no, it's just cool shit, and uh but he was another one, that's went from like a somebody to a nobody to a legend. And I think ultimately with a lot of these labels, like these No Remorse and fuck, High
Tank
Roller.
Rhymes. I'm out of the bay. Tank Rhymes, man, they Toxic Holocaust,
Yeah.
Full Waste,
And what's crazy is they're getting all
Discharge.
these
Like,
repress rights. They're getting all these repress rights to a lot of these fucking 70s and 80s era fucking nostalgia bands because they heard them on a dubbed off cassette somewhere, which is rad. Don't get me wrong. And that's fucking cool that they're getting their legend status. And
yeah,
it's creating income and jobs for older musicians now who haven't milked out the crowd and priced out the crowd of your fucking shows. I'm
right.
sorry. I love Metallica to death, but I'm
Right.
almost priced out of ever seeing them again.
Right. Like, I mean, I get lucky where we have Aftershock Festival and it's like an
Well, I have
hour.
Louder Than Life here.
Okay, so then yeah, it's like if you get Metallica on that, it's like, all right, that's a score because I didn't have to, if I can buy a 1 day ticket for $100, whereas if I want to actually go see Metallica, I'm probably not gonna get tickets because they're gonna sell out in 6 minutes. I'm gonna have to buy resales for $350. It's not worth
Right.
it.
But the
I love
tickets
them
were
to
already 175.
death.
The last time I saw Metallica on a stadium tour was on a stadium tour was back in 2017, and it was for Hardwired,
I missed that
and
one.
it was $165 a ticket flat out, no matter where you were in the arena. It was $165 general admission.
That's kind of weird. For floor,
And
like for general admission, I'd be like, ah, okay.
but you still had
Oh,
assigned seats with it. It was still assigned seats, and it was at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Super rad fucking place, but it piss poured fucking rain the entire day. And then it started thundering and shit, so they had to fucking postpone the show. Fucking Lars had a canopy over his drum set that it took 40 minutes for them to set up
Jesus.
in the
You know,
rain.
you know what I'm bummed about ticket wise is I had Ozzy tickets back. He was supposed to play here, and I want to say 2017 ish. I
I
had
had the
tickets.
Aussie tickets for 2020.
So I had 17, then he postponed, redid it, went to 18. 18 went to 19. COVID after that got canceled. And then I had pre-sale codes for his last show, and I had all three pre-sales. I couldn't get tickets on any of them. And I was like, I've never seen Ozzy by himself. Granted, I've gotten to see Black Sabbath, but I mean, yeah, I have a Suicide Solution Ozzy tattoo right here. So it's
We should
like
cover that together.
I would be down, dude. Let's do it.
Fuck yeah. I'll totally fucking do that. That's probably my that, and honestly, I'm gonna go out and we're just gonna bullshit talk this whole fucking time.
I'm fine with
Everybody.
that. We're just two
So
metalheads chatting.
we're just two metalheads reminiscing, fucking catching up after a couple of years. Honestly, I would have to say one of my favorite ever album transitions is from Revelation Mother Earth into Steal Away the Night on Blizzard of Oz, because Revelation just fucking does this whole thing and then it builds to this incredible fucking solo and fucking this power metal fucking doomy outro, and then it goes and then it builds. Dun, 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 bum, bum,
You know what I love,
and
I got
fucking
back
goes
into
slamming in, man. And I love that. I love shit like that.
It's very not like him, but I love it. Is on Bark on the Moon. Now you see me, now you don't. The chorus with the highs and the keyboard behind him. I was like, or the synthesizer behind him. I'm like, it just sounds like it sounds so sick.
I had this weird experience getting to see Ozzy, because I saw Ozzy solo in between stints with Zakk Wylde.
Oh, who played guitar for him?
Joel Holmes.
Huh.
And Rob was still on bass,
right.
And Mike was still on drums.
Okay.
So it was pretty much the down to earth and it's down to earth band.
Yeah, like the live
Zakk.
at or like live at Budokan and just
same
Zakk.
era.
Zakk.
Just that's got Zakk on it. And it was really weird. It was at Ozfest in 2000.
Huh.
So it was prior to down to earth coming out.
Right.
And it was pretty much a greatest hits. And it was just like seeing dude play Ozzy on a Fender is so wild.
I mean, no. What did Jakey Lee use? Jackson?
Probably.
Or Charvel? Was it a Charvel or was it a Fender?
See, I don't know. I might. Do we have to?
That might not be the first time Ozzy on a
That might not be. Well, I mean, there's video. Well, I mean, honestly, there's video and pictures of Randy playing stuff that's not. He had a Charvel that was polka dot like the V was from Jackson.
Oh yeah, huh?
And it was a surf style guitar is what is what I saw somebody refer to that.
I actually got to meet Ozzy, and I met him when I was a kid.
Did Sharon shake you down for money?
Surprisingly not, but yeah, no, he did a book signing.
Did she threaten your kneecaps?
There was.
I'm sorry. I'm not apologizing for that. I mean, if she's listening to this, she deserves to hear every word of it.
Sharon, if you're listening to this, lower those ticket prices.
If you're listening to this, fund my tour, and then we'll talk.
So yeah, he did a book signing, and I got to meet him, and it was wild because I had a conversation with him. This was right after he just became a grandpa. This was when his first grandson was born, and so I remember talking to him about that and congratulating him, and like talking to him, I could barely understand a word. And then you go see him live and he sings and it's night and day difference.
Okay. So there's a reason for this. And they can't. Okay. So the Osbournes' worst thing that they do is they tell on themselves. Okay.
Any publicity is good publicity.
Hang on. So, anyways, what I'm saying here is the thing with the Osbournes is they fucking tell on themselves, okay?
Right.
Which back in like the behind the music of Ozzy, they talk about this is pre-Osbournes, pre reality show. They talk about Ozzy going on his last tour before Osmosis on the No More Tours tour, right?
Correct.
And they do the thing and like he gets sober. And he's lived sober ever since.
Right.
But it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. So let me explain why. So when they were talking about like the Osbournes and everything, that they were doing that, so it was like he was sober through all of this.
Right.
And when Jack made a documentary about 15 years ago, I have it right here. It's called God Bless Ozzy Osbourne.
I've seen it.
And they actually talk about the thing in there where he had not been sober for more than 30 days at a time.
Oh my Lord.
That entire, from the time of that Behind the Music to the current, so like 15 years.
Right. That just makes me think of the clip of him where he goes up to Sharon. He's like, "Who stole all my beers?" And Sharon's like, "You, Ozzy, you stole all your beers."
Yeah. And you know, for what it's worth, you know, he did leave a mark on the industry. But like business practices, I don't agree with. So, the completely taking away credit from fucking people.
Yeah.
Just for what? You know,
But
so you
then
can
again,
make more.
I don't know how much of that is Ozzy, and I don't know how much of that is Sharon.
I don't.
Because Sharon handled majority of the business from
Sure.
what I
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Because honestly, you know, Ozzy, he's written songs, but like not so much as to like, you know, in Black Sabbath, it was all Geezer. Or,
Right.
you know, Geezer and Tony, and you know, writing the lyrics even.
Right.
You know, and Ozzy didn't really write much lyrics, and it was pretty much the band, you know, which at, you know, Blizzard of Oz era would have been Randy and Bob Daisley. They wrote, and Lee Kerslake. Yeah.
Right.
I think Lee Kerslake is on that. But they were all doing the thing, you know. They were all writing the songs and the lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, what I've told everyone in Plague Ritual, because that really kind of grinds my gear, that whole so and so wrote this, and we're gonna give them this percent, and this, and we're gonna give them this percent. I told everyone in my band, I said, I don't give a shit who writes what. I go, I expect everyone just to write the best they can, bring the best products to the table, and then we'll group vote. Whatever does the best makes the cut, and it'll be a majority rule. But I told everyone, no matter who wrote what, if I wrote a song, if Costa wrote a song, if Dylan wrote a song, because Dylan's actually a guitar player, a bass player was originally going to be the guitar player before Costa joined, and then he's like, "Oh, if we get Costa, I'll step down to bass." But I told them all, I go, if for instance like Mark, our drummer, I go, I wrote the drums, but then I give them to you and you make them you, right?
Sure,
I just write them down.
it's the arrangement and interpretation.
So I said, if I were to have a completely different drummer, that final project that we did with Juan, the final product, final cut, would not be how it is if I had a different drummer. So therefore, I just give everyone equal credit, because I'm
Sure.
like, there's not enough music in this industry through streaming royalties and all that stuff for people to ruin 10, 15-year friendships over. It's just not worth it. And everyone in the band agrees with me. So I'm like, just make it easy. We're a family. We're not, it's not who gets $100 here, who gets $200 here. It's like, let's just write good music and see where it goes.
No, you're absolutely right. And I think that's what, you know, ultimately Black Sabbath did.
Yeah.
You know, they credited everybody because they were all fucking poor, you know. And I totally get that. And
I just think a lot of bands these days don't do that. I think it's a lot of one guy. Most bands is generally like one guy who manages the band, one guy who writes most of the music, and then it's like everyone might have a little sprinkle or solos or write lyrics. But I mean,
and you know, I think you're right. And that really happened so ultimately it all goes back to the invent of rock and roll. Fucking like take Elvis, for example. they fucking the uh recording company that whoever he was with at the time, whether it have been Sun or RCA or whoever, or Columbia or whoever the fuck he went to after that, um, they would fucking approach people that they knew were good songwriters for B-sides.
Oh,
And they would buy the A-side songs and would maybe pay like $500 for them. But
right.
these B-side songs, they would pay like 10, 20, $50 for, and they propositioned these people to sell their rights out
So it's
on
all front
public.
end, no back end. It's all up
Well,
front with no back end royalties.
well, they if people pushed back on it, they would sit there and say, well, if you do it now for the exit for $20, you'll make so much extra on the back end because
Oh,
Elvis is gonna sing it and it's
right.
gonna be a hit no matter what. And it was all bullshit, and those people really, I mean, the people that really cleaned up were the A-side writers.
Well, like one thing I heard, I listen to all sorts of stuff. My mom loves Jelly Roll, and like, so like I'm cool with Jelly Roll. I like listen. I like him, and like
Dude, we're
we're musicians, we listen to
musicians.
everything.
Musicians listen to fucking everything. It doesn't matter if it's fucking a djembe and a fucking didgeridoo. We will fucking listen to it.
Right, but I heard
Just to
him
see what
talking about.
inspiration we will get.
I heard him talking about over in Nashville. They'll go to like a closed bar and they'll get a bunch of like famous songwriters and they'll do a thing called a writer's circle and they'll all critique and help each other write their songs with no
Yep.
royalties. Just and I'm like, dude, I would love to do that. There's so many people in the Bay Area.
You all could
Like,
do that out there. I mean,
yeah, we
honestly,
really
you
could. It
should
just have to.
that would be something to set up. And look, but here's the thing. Honestly, the independent metal scene pretty much already does that.
Right.
I
I
mean,
somewhat did like
I mean,
already.
honestly, like, okay, what's the odds stretch here that Zetro heard anything that you all did before it was released?
Say that again?
There's what's the percentage of Zetro hearing anything that you all recorded before you released it to the public?
Oh,
I'm
right.
pretty sure it was fucking about a 99% chance
Yeah.
that he
Yeah.
probably listened to it.
Yeah.
I mean, or Phil for that matter.
Right.
Phil, friend of the Metal Forge, he was here about a year ago.
Nice.
So shout out to him. We'll have to tag him now in the comments and everything. So because he got a mention, keep that social media presence up. We're creating reels here, people.
Yeah. Check out The Bloodletting by Plague Ritual featuring Phil Demmel.
Absolutely. It will be actually we'll play that on today's show.
Beautiful.
Hell
But
yeah.
yeah, I think it would be cool. Like for me, I have test groups of people ranging from 15 to 55 of like the song will be 90% done as far as pre-pro, and I'll be like, all right, send it out to my focus group and go, all
Sure.
right,
And
what
you're
do you
doing the
guys like
same
and what do you
thing,
not
but you're
like?
not doing it in person.
Right. And I get tons of different answers. Like a kid who's 15 is gonna tell me, oh dude, the breakdown in that song is the greatest part. And then the guy who's 55 is gonna be like, I love the chorus. I can sing along to that all day. So it's like, that it's different
Yeah.
opinions and it really helps. And then as far as like what I said about the writing circles, like when I first started Plague Ritual, when Costa first left Hatred, he was going to start um like
A
an old
Britney
school death metal
Spears
band.
cover band, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That I
And
mean, I know I saw like album artwork, I think, that where he was in the school uniform. I'm completely fucking with you. I'm just doing
uh
this to see if Costa listens.
oh, he will. He'll hear this. And so yeah, he was gonna start another death metal band. He didn't have a name. He was just kind of like just starting to write some material for it. and me and him talked, and we were kind of each getting members for our separate bands, and
I
I
thought of
kind
the
of
name he needed to use.
what's that?
Costa's Hatriot. Like fucking KK's priest. No.
Exactly. Justice
Speaking
Adrian.
of signing your fucking rights away,
Oh man.
that
So,
fucker, man.
but
And
so
now he wants
Costa,
to bitch about it.
so Costa was originally gonna help pretty much critique my writing. So not like, such as a writing circle, since we're just really good friends and that guy is a machine of a songwriter, I was like, okay, anything I write, I'm just gonna send you the album before we go record it, and I'm gonna send you all the pre-pro, and then whatever you think parts you lose your attention or parts that could be better, just make notes for me. I'll rewrite it, and then we'll just do that back and forth until we both think it's a good album. And then he was kind of like, "What if I joined?" And I was like, "Do you want to?" And he was like, "Yeah." He was like, if you fire one of your guitarists, and I'm like, well, I don't want to fire anyone. So I went to Dylan because Dylan's friends with Costa as well, and I said, okay, you're the guitarist. The bass player position is still open. So I go, if you want Costa in this band, you have to make the decision if you want to be on guitar and leave Costa out of the band, or if you want to be a bass player and want
Oh
to get Costa in.
man.
And he was like, all right, let me think about this. Because in every band, he's played bass, even though he's a guitar player, because basses around here are too damn hard to find.
Maybe I need to move
So,
out there then.
yeah, so he,
Dude, I can fucking barely afford life in fucking Indiana some days.
oh
I could
man,
not imagine being out there.
oh, the Bay Area,
No
prices,
shit.
man, it's rough. Yeah, it's rough. We need to just get a band house and have all the members live together or something.
Dude, dude, what is it? On Carter or Carver? The Metallo Mansion?
Oh yeah, I know there's been a few bands that have done that. Like, I don't know how true it is, but I heard Fallujah used to have a house where all the members live, not too far from here, maybe 5 minutes from here too.
No shit. That's cool. I
So
mean,
yeah,
yeah, I mean,
that's how
that's
we
what
got
it
Costa.
is, man. That's what I mean, it's your fucking city history. That's a big part of it. Just as much as fucking glam on Sunset in LA. It was so much ingrained in the fucking history of the city. And
Right.
LA's fucking history, old Hollywood type shit like that. That's something else. That's rad shit.
What's
But it's
wild
no
with
different than like the fucking punk scene in New York.
yeah,
Like
I
the people sitting outside CBGBs and all the fucking black and white fucking pictures that you see. No matter from what day, what year, the fucking they all blend together and it's just like the history.
yeah, I mean with Bay Area thrash, it's kind of funny because I live in Dublin, California. Now I grew up in Dublin. This is where I'm from. This has been here since I was a baby, and I didn't even know Dublin's history until I was in high school. I went to someone's high school graduation, and they said Phil's name as an alumni of Dublin High School, and I was like, wait, the guitarist Machine Head went to my high school, and then. I think I was a freshman. Right after that, I met Nick, and my brother had already knew him. And my brother's like, "You need to meet Nick. You're gonna love him." And I met him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my dad's in Exodus." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And then like a month later, my gym teacher is like, "Do you listen to Testament?" And I'm like, yeah, why? And he's like, you're the only metalhead that we know in any of our PE classes. And he's like, Chuck Billy called and he wants someone to bring him a Dublin High School patch to put on his vest. And he goes, he'll give you backstage passes to the show if you can bring him a patch. And I was like, oh, hell yeah. So I
Fuck
had no
yeah.
clue from like 6 years old, probably till like 16 years old, that violence Machine Head, parts of Forbidden, Exodus, Testament,
Sure.
like all these cats were from not just the Bay Area, but like literally the town I'm in and grew up in, and I like that was my life as a teenager. So to like be like, oh, whoa, this is literally at arm's reach after I've been, had my heart poured into the scene. It was
Sure.
great. So being able to become friends and acquaintances with people that I used to idolize as a kid, it's that's why I do this. I tell everyone that's why I do this. Like I can show you, like I can point my camera there. I have a picture from a Phil Demel Jackson ad from like 2004 on my door. And I have like, I'll just move it. But like, if you look at my door, it's literally just all stuff I've cut out,
Fuck yeah,
posters, set
dude.
lists, backstage passes, like of you. So it's like, I have all this stuff that I had from when I was like 12, 13 years old. And like half the people on my door I've become friends with. It's cool. It's weird. That's why
Dude,
I
I
do this.
totally get it because I mean, the same fucking actually right here, this pass here is when I met fucking Nick and Costa and Cody.
Oh, at Kings of Thrash? Is that the Kings of Thrash
That's the
pass?
Kings of Thrash Pass,
There
yeah.
you go. See?
And and that's when I met them in person after talking to you on the show. And yeah, man, it's like to me, like seeing the generational change and like the kids and maybe even grandkids now, what I'm saying, picking
Right.
up the torches of these bands like Testament and Exodus with bands like Hatred and Plague Ritual. And that is so fucking awesome to me. And to then get a friend and acquaintance that you can call somebody like Phil Demel
Right.
and do that. Which this is another good fucking point is when his episode released last year, we were literally playing the club 3 days apart from each other.
Oh, that's the worst when you're on tour. If you have friends that
Yeah.
are like, you're
And
like,
we played
oh,
on
we
the
just missed each other.
or 2 days. It might have been the Saturday and the Monday, is what I'm thinking. Because we played Legions of Metal, and then the Kerry King band played at Reggie's on like 2 days later, 3 days later, and I was like, "Fuck!" And then it was the same weekend that episode with Phil released.
Oh man,
So it was
that's
like all
rough.
kinds of shit, all kinds of serendipitous shit going on. And here we are recreating it with you a year later.
I know. And just wait, I'll be in your neck of the woods hopefully sooner than later.
Yeah. So what does 2025 have going for you all?
Well, we are. I have to write lyrics on 2 songs, and then I think we just have to write solos for 2 songs, and the album's done.
Hell yeah.
So I'm trying to shoot to start recording, probably first, second week of July if we can get the ball rolling at least. Get some dates scheduled, stuff like that, so we can at least get the drums tracked. I know we're gonna go with Juan for a lot of the engineering,
Sure.
and then we're gonna shop out probably who's gonna do the mix. And then I know Dan Randall, who did the master on our last 2 songs. He used to be the guitarist for Ghoul. He runs
Mm-hmm.
Mana Sound Mastering. He does great work, and he's done like Violence,
Are you
Sodom.
sure he's in Ghoul?
He used to be.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure.
let me get the wink in here. Are you sure he's in Ghoul?
Yeah, but
Because
he's a
I
great dude. He does
no,
great now.
it's when you fucking sit there and you have like the fucking alternate, the fucking alter ego,
Oh yeah,
fucking like
yeah,
Doc
yeah.
Sewage, fucking Doc Sewage isn't in Ghoul either.
Who's Dave Brocky?
Yeah, right. He's actually, he was that guy who played in that band that opened for Gwar called the Dave Brocky Experience. There you go.
So
That's who that is. And
yeah,
you know what? That's a cool fucking concept as well. The concept of Gwar and essentially Kiss at this point, creating characters. Midnight is another one. Savage Master,
I love Midnight.
the mentors, bands that play under masks or face paint or stuff like that.
Trust me, I thought about it. But it's just
Don't do the Plague Doctor. Don't
it's too
don't
much.
do the Plague Doctor. There's so many bands that do the Plague Doctor.
I know. That's my thing, though. I got a tattoo. I collect all sorts of stuff. So I'm like, that's kind of where the name came from. I was just like, all right, I have all this shit. I need to.
That makes more sense now.
Yeah, so
that makes more sense. But maybe, you know, and honestly, when you seriously think about it, I mean, look at Hatred over the last couple of years. They've adapted a face paint scheme too.
I know.
And it's awesome looking. It was so great in the fucking promo shots and everything. But like, to me, it lends to a mythos to a band. Right. And B, you know, I know like Dave Brockie said that it was basically characters. So you never knew who would actually be playing that role of that character. Right. And essentially the band could go on forever, which, you know, that was one of the things that he had said. And obviously, like, if you look at, there's been multiple people who have played like Beefcake.
Right. 100%. Yeah.
You know, one of them was from Louisville here. He's in Belushi Speedball. Jamie Land played Beefcake for years.
I know
what's that?
I know of Belushi Speedball.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the whole thing where, you know, creating a mythos to the band. So yeah, do that then. That's totally rad. But there's other bands that totally do it and just like no sell it. They're just doing it to do it.
Right. You touched on the Gene Simmons or the Kiss. I'm just touching back on what we were talking about earlier, going from somebodies to nobodies to legends, where that's why during Lick It Up they took off the masks and took off the face paint, was because they were nobodies to go to the nobodies, and then they took it off and they had to come back as legends, you know.
And honestly, you know, I'm gonna say this. That is when I think they really shifted into a metal scene.
Yeah.
Kiss released metal in the 80s and the 90s until you got to Psycho Circus. They put the makeup back on then. But, you know, when you have songs like Heaven's on Fire, whether it's hair metal or it brushes up with fucking heavy metal or thrash metal, because there's some stuff that does. I mean, it's what it is. But like that's when I love seeing that transition, but essentially they're doing the same thing what Gwar was doing with Tommy Thayer and Eric Singer, you know, where they're both playing Ace's part, the spaceman and the cat. Yeah. I want to see them do reunion. I want to see them do their next makeup reunion where they're going to have like Vinnie Vincent's role as the Ankh Warrior and the Fox. And they never bring those characters out. Why not? No,
they probably won't. I feel like never will. Just Gene has it.
Dude,
Gene has a spot in his heart.
Talk about
doesn't want to open.
Dude, I'm like a fucking superhero nerd. I mean, I've got fucking wrestlers and shit on the walls and shit. Right. You know, toys on the desk, whatever. But like the Harvey Dent of fucking metal and hard rock is Kiss.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. And that is fucking Kiss. That is Kiss.
100%. Couldn't have said it better.
I mean, Jesus fuck, man. Dude, we're going to play a song before we go to Derailed, which we've pretty much already derailed. So what do you want to play?
Pick a random song?
No, what? Of yours.
Oh, of ours?
Plague Ritual.
Let's do Bloodletting by Phil. With Phil.
All right. Boom.
your soul escaping.
So yeah, man, fucking, we're gonna sit here and go into derailed, which we've already been derailed. So you're wanting to record around July, dude? That's rad as shit.
Yeah.
And I mean, you've got shows coming up.
We have a festival or two that are in the works. One here on the West Coast, one potentially on the East Coast.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
we have another show in Northern California that is going to be getting booked here in the next month or two. But I don't want to book too much stuff before the album's done. I really
Sure.
want to get this album done, recorded, get it
Well, yeah,
out,
it's a
and
statement.
and come out of the gate hard, come out of the gate with vinyl, sick vinyl, merch, all that stuff. So people know we ain't
Red
fucking.
blood splatter vinyl, I'm hoping.
We're gonna do some sick stuff. I will say, I will drop this now. The artwork is not done, but Paulo Girardi is doing the artwork. That was one of the things that I brought to Hatriot when we first did From Days Unto Darkness. That was
Uh-huh.
actually supposed to be artwork from me and Nick's previous band called Sudden Loss,
Sure.
and I had gotten that artwork done. That band broke up. I joined Hatriot, brought that artwork with me, and then we used it for Days Under Darkness, and we continued to use Paulo. And he's my favorite painter, so I'm like,
Dude,
I'm sticking with him. That's my guy.
dude, totally, man. Fucking, I totally get it. Fucking Evil Dead. Ed Repka does all their
Oh,
stuff.
dude, I love Ed
Fucking,
Repka.
Repka is fucking great. Fucking Joe Pentagano, shout out fucking Motorhead.
Or
Fucking
Bay Area dude, Desmond Despoys, Toxic Holocaust, bands like that. I think Fuel by Fire, Andrei Buzikov.
yeah.
He's awesome.
Uh he used to be in the Bay Area, but he's no longer there. Shout out to another fucking amazing artist who has done amazing fucking work for a lot of Bay Area bands. Pusshead.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Fucking he did a Louisville band artwork, King Horse, on their self-titled release, was actually produced by Danzig, and
Oh
everybody
yeah.
hates the Danzig produced version.
I love Danzig. He's one of my favorite artists of all time.
I mean,
People love him or hate him.
yeah, they do. They do. And I think he gets, I was talking with Adam Neal a long time ago from Savage Master. And you're familiar with Danzig's film career.
Correct. Yeah.
Death Rider in the House of Vampires and the fucking other the other one that he did. It comes to me like he gets clowned on just because he is so serious of who he is himself.
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. But like
he takes himself so serious that people clown on him because of it. And like, but you have to look into like, if you look at his films, they're almost like porn without, like 70s porn without the sex.
Right, literally, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's really it. But you got to think at some point he thinks it's amazing cinema, like he's fucking the next fucking like George Lucas or fucking.
But to each their own, man.
Yeah, and that's great. Don't get me wrong, that's awesome. But
I ain't a Beyonce fan, but
yeah, but she's doing country fucking music. There's your fucking think tank in Nashville. Fucking imagine that fucking get up.
Oh, I don't know. Fucking Beyonce, I could probably try.
No, like fucking like, oh my gosh. I mean, but let's look at it like that. If you really look at modern country music, and honestly, country music from at least the 1980s.
Oh, it's great.
They have adopted the pop and like the pop mentality of writing, where it's teams of people doing fucking, and like whoever plays in, say, the fucking Stillwater or Still River band and fucking Garth Brooks's band, or whoever plays in fucking Ace in the Hole band from George Strait, doesn't fucking matter because they're not playing on the albums.
Another thing is, me and Nick used to always call it Britney Spearsing, where the song is realistically 2 verses and 1 chorus, and each verse repeats twice, and then the chorus repeats 3 to 4 times, and that's the entire song.
Sure.
And it's like, country songs used to tell a story, and now they've adopted the Britney Spearsing, where it's like, oh, we're just gonna have a bunch of sing-along parts.
Well, or they do. There might be a third verse, but it's like the same as the that fucking Henry VIII, same as the first.
Lyrics, yeah.
It's like verse 1 and verse 2, and then verse 3 is verse 1 again.
Right.
And getting into that stuff with music is always interesting to me. It's like I used to adopt like a Motorhead style of writing, where there used to be in a lot of Motorhead songs, whether they're 2 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever, they're usually intro, verse, chorus, solo, verse, chorus, outro. It's a pretty fucking, go back to fucking the beginning of the Motorhead era, and pretty much every song is done that way.
Yeah, I like to pick different songs or artists, and then like I'll sit down for a day with pen and paper and go, okay, what is the actual structure of this song? And like I will break down, okay, this plays twice, and I'll break down random songs, because I'm like, I don't want to be the guy and just get ideas of structure, because I don't want to be the guy where every song is the same structure, or every song has the same vocal cadence or stuff like that. And like talking about Britney Spears, we have a song on the record. It's going to be called Plague Ritual. And because the song is named after the band, I wanted it specifically to be a very sing-songy, crowd repeat kind of song. So it's like, I had to go out of my way to be like, okay, I need to write a Britney Spears song.
I mean, you literally got to, and that's what nobody really, that's a non-musician out there that listens to this show. That's where you really get into the thing of when you have to pick up the instrument, and like you have to write like almost like the melody on the fucking instrument too, just to be able to get your vocal cadence to the way it needs to be when you write a sing-songy type thing.
So
because
how me and Costa do it is we do grunts. So like say we have a verse and the verse is playing, we'll go da 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 da, right? And
yeah,
we'll sound out what the vocal cadence should be
that's
over
what
the
I do.
instrumental. And then I'll go, okay, it needs to be 6 4 3 2 1 6 4. And then I'll go back and I'll go write the lyrics to the syllable count.
Yeah, that's when Overload is doing the thing, and we get in the groove of playing some fucking awesome jams, and I start to do the fucking blah 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 blah
Every
blah blah.
musician knows it.
And it's just like it goes into what's really funny is when Mike, my drummer, when if I don't immediately go into where I'm thinking, he goes completely fucking opposite of me, and it'd be like, it's like fucking King Diamond. I'm like, I can't get that fucking high, dude.
Well,
I can't get any higher than I am.
what's good with me and Costa is writing wise, we can like if you listen to like any of the stuff that I touched on Veil of Shadows or like 25th Hour, stuff like that. Like if you listen to that, it's very similar to how Costa writes. If I channel him, I can write like him. But as far as writing in our own ways, I'm very like Machine Head, Lamb of God, that the Haunted, At the Gates, that kind of stuff
Sure.
mixed with old school death metal. Costa is like the Kill Switch Engage a little bit era
Yeah.
stuff like that. He's very picky about it, and then it's like old school death metal, hair metal, and that's like I like hair metal, but Costa's catalog and where he gets a lot of his influence is hair metal, and lyrically he's a big Carcass guy. So like if he writes lyrics to a song, like he wrote lyrics to one of the songs going on the album, and it's very Carcass style, and I'm like reading I listen to the song and I'm like, okay, I kind of got the cadence down, and I look at the lyrics and I'm like, how the fuck did you break this up? I'm like when you hear it, it sounds fine,
Dude,
and then you look at the lines and where the breaks and pauses are and how the words are stretched, and I'm like, oh
I don't,
shit.
yeah, when you don't, okay, yes,
But
what
it
gets me,
works, and
it
I
works,
don't write like that, so
but
it's
what
good
gets
to have
me
those.
is like when you write with somebody and you say a word, but your cadence in saying that word is different from one another.
Oh, I know. Yep.
That is interesting because when they say it and sing it, it comes out one way. And when you do it, it comes out the other because of your natural cadence comes in. Like I've always hated a words like away
Oh
because
yeah.
they come off like away, like really
There's so
flat.
many ways that you could do it too. There's so
And
many
but
ways you
like
can play
I've
with it.
always hated words like away, belay, stray, day,
I'm gonna.
may.
I want to look up. I want to look up one of the words. Because me and him,
But then
we
again, I put fucking like myriad in a fucking song or malevolence.
right. So I use a lot of weird, intricate words when I write lyrics. So I'm used to it when I write songs, but like if someone else throws it at me, I'm like, what? I can't find. I'll pull it up later. But
Sure, sure.
we had a it was like two short words and then a long word, and the long word wasn't even long. It was like haunted or something like that. And Costa pre-pro'd the vocals himself, so I would know the cadence, and then he came over when I tracked my vocals, and we were going back and forth on this one part for like 20 minutes, and he's like, no, Kevin, you're not. And he's like, and he does it into my mic, and I'm listening to it, and like I was like, no, dude, I got this. I know it. And every time I go to do it, it just wouldn't be right. And I was like, I swear to God, I know it. And then he had to do it again, dubbed it over me, and then I had to follow him. And then I was like, wasn't I doing that? And I listened to my first take and I was like, oh, and it's just so slightly off
Yeah.
that it's like, you wouldn't be able to tell, but he's like, no, it needs to be that way, or you're like the breath where you need to take the breath before the next line isn't gonna work. And I'm like, oh shit, okay. And
Dude, you're
gotta get into the
absolutely
nitty
right.
gritty.
That's the wildest shit out there, because and here's the other thing, like double tracking.
Oh man.
I am the worst at double tracking because like I will fucking change my cadence halfway through a fucking word, like
I know how that feels.
or I will fucking or I will say a line in a song and then I will just like add a fucking a or an or a the in between words that isn't there on the
Right.
sheet. And it's like my brain just going and in the blah, and blah 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 blah.
Well, and it was really weird that was probably my biggest struggle starting Plague Ritual was like when I started this band, it was just like, all right, I'm just gonna write, get some homies, whoever doesn't want to do it, I'll just fill their spots with hired guns, right? And I'm just gonna write and do all that, and we'll just take it how it goes, right? And that was kind of how it started. And then I got Dylan, I got Ben, I got Mark. So the Dylan on bass, Ben on guitar, Mark on drums, and then I played guitar. I originally had someone in mind for vocals, and then they backed out. They were in, and then they backed out at the last minute. And I was like, "Well, I used to do the backups for Hatred, and then
Sure.
live I would do the lows, right?" So I'm like, vocals aren't new to me, but being a full-on vocalist and a
And a
frontman
guitar player.
is. So for me, being a musician, listening to everything, I'm not just a metalhead. I listen to hardcore. I listen to stuff like that. And I always liked frontman that didn't have an instrument in their hand because I feel like if you want to control a crowd and be energetic and get in people's face and really make people remember you and get in their face and show, like, be a part of the crowd, it's harder to do with an instrument in between you and the crowd. So I was like, all right, if I'm going to be the vocalist, let's hammer down. And I practiced vocals for like 6 months of all these different techniques and really just kind of dialing it in because the people who don't know, you have to learning metal vocals is like learning an instrument. It's like learning guitar because otherwise you will fuck yourself
Fuck
up.
yourself up. Absolutely.
And so even like probably until Costa joined, I was still on the fence if I wanted to be the vocalist. And then like I sent it to Nick. I sent it to Costa. Like everyone heard it. I sent it to Juan, our producer, and he's like, "No, dude, it sounds great." And I was like, still hesitant. We went and did the two singles with Juan, and I pretty much one tracked everything. And he was like,
Yeah.
"Dude, you're killing it. You need to stay on vocals." And then when Costa joined, he's like, "No, your vocals fit. You need to stay on vocals." And I'm like, all right, fair enough. Because I really didn't know. I'm like, because I'm still gonna write instrumentally. I'm still gonna write. That's who I am. I'm never gonna give up guitar. And
Sure.
this band is my baby, so I'm still gonna write instrumentally. But live, everyone was kind of shocked. They're like, "Oh, you're just gonna be the vocalist." I'm like, "I'm just gonna be the vocalist this time
Dude,
around."
fucking jam it the fuck out, man.
So
That's what it's about.
some people
And
are excited.
I definitely am, because hey, metal needs a shot in the fucking arm.
Yeah,
I think, especially now, with everything that's going on geopolitically and everything, you know, metal and punk and hardcore and everything, is we need to start doing our fucking part again,
yeah.
getting that shit out.
For a lot of people, punk, metal, hardcore, having that instrument, having that group of friends, going to shows, dude, that is the light at the end of the tunnel.
It is.
I mean, for me, when I was a fucking teenager going through fucked up shit, it's like I could grab my best friend or grab my brother and be like, all right, we're driving to Oakland, we're going to this fucking crusty ass underground thrash metal show for $10. And we would have the time of our life. And then
Sure.
it became a weekly thing, and it's like that's what drove us to get through school, shitty week, work was,
Dude, and that's the fucking thing, man. That's like what we were talking about earlier, the generational thing. Take
yeah.
like fucking dudes like fucking like Death Angel. They were the fucking 13-year-olds when Testament and them were playing fucking shows, and that was their get out and fucking going out and doing it. And like when they fucking you're just talking about doing the same thing, man. So
I
it's
know. It's
fucking
like you just I mean, and I have like my one of my really good friends, his son is just turned 17. They have a band called 1080. Go check them out. They're cool.
dude, there was a band
Like,
from Louisville called 1080.
oh yeah, uh-oh.
Yeah.
I just
Holy
produced
shit.
I just produced their record. It comes out next month. But yeah, it's like I helped him with guitar and all that stuff, and since he was like 12 years old, he got one of his guitars from me, like, and now it's like I'm producing his first album and stuff, and then seeing him go play shows and do merch, and I'm like, oh, he's grown up,
He's doing
so
the thing. We
so
influenced another
yeah,
one.
it's cool, and it's like nothing makes me happier than to see those kids at shows like struggling, like to put 10 cents together to go record drum tracks somewhere, and like I'm like,
Dude, let me
I
tell you.
miss that.
Let me
Don't
tell you.
lose
These
this.
kids today will completely fucking change. They've completely changed the fucking the business of
The whole
recording.
trajectory of metal. It's like,
Well, no, like the recording industry today is nothing. I mean, yeah, you've got like the fucking when you're taking away fucking bands like fucking like the pop scene and shit like that, when you're seriously looking at metal, I mean, even Metallica's quote doing it at home.
right, literally, like, so with
I
this
mean,
album,
you're
like,
fucking what? You're fucking 12 blocks away from fucking HQ or some shit.
or
No,
like all these kids are recording from home or self-producing or going through self-distribution companies.
they're playing fucking dude, like e-kits today are so much better than they were fucking 10 years ago or 20 years ago or even fucking 3 or 5 years ago. They're so much better because the technology has changed.
Well, like my dad's
And
band, they just did a whole album on their laptop. First time,
yeah,
just got Cubase, just learned how to use it. It took him 2 years to a year to learn how to do it in pre-pro and a year to actually sit down and learn how to mix and mix it. And it's like
and
start to
honestly,
scratch. Did a whole album in 2 years, not even knowing how to do any of it.
exactly. And honestly, the quality when you base it against albums that have stood the test of time, even just even shouting out on the Metallica front, Ride, Master, Justice, Black, the
Right.
quality is there. They were splicing fucking single drum hits, single snare hits and shit and tape on that fucking Black album.
Flair,
So
South of Heaven. Oh my God, that drum tone. I tell
yeah.
people like first the kick drums. I have a like really done up sound system in my Jeep Wrangler, but like for how old that album is and how it was recorded, like those subs or the kicks hit perfectly on my subs, better than half the modern records that I have today.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And honestly, I think it's partially where it was recorded, yes,
Yeah.
but I think it's, mic placement is another. But then again, you can actually sample that kit now and play it and use that fucking tone on an E kit.
Or like
And
instead of spending a couple $1,000s and getting a cabinet, gutting it, and putting the speakers you want into it, you could just go, I want this cabinet in this room with these speakers. I want this, or I
yeah,
want this speaker
and
in this corner.
honestly,
Like it's too easy.
it really is. But the thing about it is like there are so many awesome things that are coming out regardless of the technology. And it's, film is the same way.
Right.
When
Or
you take,
CGI.
well, no, not even just that, ultimately as musicians, we're independent filmmakers too, because we have ideas for music videos and shit.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So I mean, that's like the whole fucking thing. You've got to do the whole package. You've got to do this. It's everything now. And
Right.
it's probably never been easier to control it as now as it has ever been, especially on an independent level.
Right. I think with this album, we're trying to do it as we're not signed yet. So we're trying to do it as low cost as possible without compromising any of the quality. And I think what we're gonna do is have drums tracked by Juan, probably
Sure.
vocals tracked by Juan because I love working with him as a vocal engineer. For those who don't know, he used to be the vocals for Vile.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'm gonna record all the guitars and bass myself. I have all the stuff to do that, so might as well take advantage of that. And
Well,
then
yeah.
just have a friend of ours who's a producer put it all together and then just shop out someone to mix it. It's like,
Yep.
we're gonna
That's
do it
what you do. I mean,
pretty quick,
and honestly, there's people that you could reach out. There's people that we could all reach out to these days because, and it's really all about one thing: how much money is involved. And I hate
Yeah,
to be that guy, but that's
yeah,
really where it is. But I mean, you could fucking reach out to somebody like Greg Fiddleman. I mean, he's in your town.
100%. 100%. And like a lot of these guys, like I have already started shopping out people. Like
I
some
mean,
of
I
these
would love to work with Cameron Webb.
some of these big name producers, like you guys would be like, oh, they're untouchable. Like I've gotten some quotes from people, and I'm like, no way. I'm like, that's totally affordable. Let's go for it. Like, and
Sure.
it's like, so, sometimes perception isn't everything. For the youngsters out there, I mean, there's probably producers, artists you want to work with. Sometimes you're honestly a DM away. Sometimes a lot of these guys are willing to work and help out young bands and stuff like
Yeah.
that because they want, like we talked about, they want to see that third generation. They want to keep this machine going.
I mean, that's just like I used to have a book, and I don't know what would ever happen to it. I think I lent it to a friend and never got it back. But it was the complete like collection base of like Nirvana. And what it was is it went through and talked about the creation and production of every album
Wow.
in the book, like down to like how meticulous Kurt was on like the funding and the budget of everything.
That's
Like
crazy.
when they went to record Nevermind and recorded with Butch Vig, his fee was $60,000,
Holy shit.
and that was in 1990.
Right, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, Jesus
And
Christ.
I think they had $100,000 to make the album.
Well, and that's one thing where it's with labels, it's become it's rough. I mean, it's rough. Juan sent the first 3 songs we did to Monty Connor, who used to run Roadrunner Records, and now he runs Nuclear Blast. And he said they're a new band. They don't have any numbers. I love them. I can't do anything. And but right now, as of now, count me as a fan. So I go, okay, cool. I'll take it. If he likes it, I'm happy with that, right?
Yeah, there's
But
nowhere to go but up.
no one, there's so little money in it now. No one's buying CDs and vinyl. I mean, the real metalheads, the collectors, yeah, people want that physical copy, so vinyl's coming back. But
Sure.
majority of your money used to come from that. Now, the amount you make on streaming is nothing. So when labels are cut that much, it's very hard for them. They don't have the funding to take chances on bands anymore, which is
No.
rough.
And it's going to get worse now because of political shit going on.
And AI music too.
Well, I don't think AI is gonna be that much on it, but like I think because of okay, prime example.
Not with labels. I'm just saying it's gonna take up a bigger portion of the market. It's gonna take a chunk out of the market, right?
Yeah,
Where now
it's going
that
to take
money's
money out of the
going
market. Yeah, so so it's going to again go to tech billionaires like Elon Muskrat and whoever else, and Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, the fucking three technocrats of fucking America,
So yeah, I mean,
and South Africa.
so yeah, I mean, instead of people listening to real humans that produce music and the money going to real humans, those songs are going to be produced by AI, and it's going to go to some guy who's sitting behind the computer that has never learned or touched the guitar before, and
No,
that's shitty. That's shitty. So
yeah, and unfortunately, but yeah, I don't want to call it like death of the music industry, because it shouldn't
yeah,
be an industry to begin with, because it's an art form.
yeah,
And but like, maybe it's going to be that revolution that, that happens. Take 2112 for example, from Rush. That's about a fucking post-apocalyptic society where, it's based on The Fountainhead by Ayn Rand, but it's like a post-apocalyptic society where art is not a thing anymore.
right.
And within Discovery, they find the guitar again and learn how to play fucking music. And they go against, they create rebellion with it.
With music.
And it's like going back to the fucking 40s and 50s and seeing pictures of Woody Guthrie with his guitar. I almost fucking did the Midwest add an S to his name. But no, seeing pictures of him with his guitar saying this machine kills fascists.
Damn.
It's the fucking most popular fucking, statement fucking picture of a musician ever.
Right.
But anyway, not to get too crazy and far out into the fucking conspiracy theory deal here. We're talking about metal and having a good fucking time.
That will never die. That, like, the whole metal.
That's what's always out here. Yes.
I don't think AI is gonna touch metal. I'm just saying
it has with Sleep Token.
Music as a whole, AI is gonna cut the portion of the market, which is gonna suck. But metalheads are so united, and so we don't have real metal bands don't have ghostwriters, right? Real metal bands is typically, like, you look at a Beyonce versus Metallica. Yeah, Metallica's gonna have a couple, or you look like Slayer. Like Slayer,
actually, no. Metallica has written all of their stuff.
Not even any.
Metallica has written all of their stuff.
I would have assumed that they at least had a ghostwriter somewhere in there.
No, that's okay. So we were talking about rights earlier, and shit like that. That is a band that has completely done that thing of everything's written by Lars and James.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Everything's written by Lars and James, and occasionally you'll get a Kirk in there, you'll get a Jason in there, you'll get a Cliff in there, you'll get a Dave Mustaine in there. Technically, you could say that he was a ghostwriter for Metallica because he's not on album, but yet but he is credited.
Yeah,
but he is credited, and despite fucking almost a 50-year career to 45 years at this point, he still remains credited, and he's still making fucking probably tens of millions of dollars a year off of those fucking rights, for like Metal Militia and Call of Cthulhu and whatever fucking else he fucking co-wrote with them on.
Yeah, I think metal's just going to be untouchable from that. I think real metalheads, like, they don't want anything to do with that. They want the pure, they want the nitty gritty, they want the good, they want the bad, they want the ugly, they want all of it. So it's like,
sure.
It's such a brotherhood. Like, I think
it's bands that brush with pop that have the ghostwriters.
What was that?
I think it's the bands that brush with pop a lot of times. Yeah. And it's it's not more metal bands, but it's more bands like Aerosmith.
Yeah.
Aerosmith, I know for a fact, has used fucking writers outside of the band. Bands like that. I would almost be willing to say that Def Leppard has probably used some.
Right.
But like, even like, but here's the other thing. Like, you get past just the metal aspect of it, and you go into like old school shit like Woody Guthrie, Bob Dylan, real protest era stuff.
Yeah.
And folk era stuff, real Americana music, they're not going to be affected by that either. And
That's
because
true.
they're the ones who singer songwriter types like the James Taylors and
The storytellers, yeah.
yeah, the real, and even the ones that, like Willie Nelson. It's
Right.
not gonna, Willie Nelson, has always had a huge band, but like I don't think he's ever ghostwritten anything. He might have written for other people, like Lemmy was a ghostwriter for Ozzy.
I know.
And honestly, it's one of them is probably Ozzy's biggest hit, other than Crazy Train.
Mama, I'm coming home. And
Yep.
Oh man, what's the other one? They just did an anniversary one like a year ago.
Lemmy, okay, so
Hellraiser.
and Desire.
That's yeah.
He's credited for those three, but Rumor and Innuendo, for the wrestling fans out there, Conrad Thompson, Rumor and Innuendo remains that he had written more of No More Tears than he got credit for, because he had apparently had written Road to Nowhere, Mr. Tinker Train, and something else. I can't remember what song it was, but I know he wrote See You on the Other Side on Osmosis.
Damn.
So, yeah. And honestly, he is another prime example of being, somebody, then a nobody, then a legend.
Right.
Was Lemmy. And the thing about it is I guarantee they sold a lot of albums. Motorhead did. Not like crazy, like hundreds of millions of albums like some people do, but he made more money off of songs that he had written for other people and songs that were covered by bands like Metallica.
Yeah.
So take, for example, this. The Load box set that's about to come out.
Okay.
They're including all of the Motorheadache session finally. The seven Motorhead songs that they covered.
That'll be tight.
They owe royalties for that.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to pay the Motorhead like estate,
Lemmy Foundation or Lemmy's estate. Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have to pay Lemmy's estate for the next fucking 70 years.
At least
60 years. Sorry, 60 years. It's 75 years after actually no, hang on, Fast Eddie Clark 21 or whatever, 19 maybe. So yeah, next 70 years. They're gonna have to pay for the royalties for that.
They can afford it.
Fuck yeah, man. Let's go ahead and switch over to Derailed. We've been fucking just riffing here for the longest time.
All right.
What is a food that you never want to try?
Oh, I never wanted to, but I just tried it in Mexico and I could barely swallow it, but it's beef tartare.
Mm. No.
I went to a 3-diamond Michelin star restaurant with a set menu, and that was the first course, and I knew it was gonna be that. My girlfriend's like, if you don't like it, I'll eat it, but you have to try and eat it. And I tried, and it didn't end well.
I dated somebody who liked their steak, what they refer to as gray.
Oh man, that's my brother.
And it's just like, here you go.
He said, "I want it still beating."
Oh my gosh, no.
He's like, the more the better.
A food I never want to try. I'll tell you a food I never want to fucking eat again. Is fucking coconut. I fucking hate it.
Really? I love
hate
coconut.
The texture of it. I hate the taste of it. I hate the smell of it. Every bit of it. I fucking hate. Ugh. it's nasty. Uh,
You don't even like coconut flavored stuff?
no, like honestly, like to me, um, have you ever like when you were in like school and you had to use the pencil sharpener or whatever
Yeah.
in the
Shavings?
classroom? Huh?
The shavings?
Yes. Like when you touch the shavings, it to me has the same texture in my hand as coconut has when I'm eating it. And I can't
I
get
hope you're
past
not
that.
eating the shell.
No. The
I'm
white
fucking
part.
with you. I'm fucking
When it's
with
like
you.
fucking like shaved coconut.
Oh yeah, I love
Or
it.
like coconut fucking like in German chocolate icing.
Right.
Like in
Feels
German
like you got
chocolate
wood
cake.
flakes in your cake.
Huh?
It feels like you got wood flakes in your cake.
Yes, it absolutely does. Um, have you ever been in a movie or done anything like that?
No, but I would absolutely love to.
Now you got the fucking basis of your fucking plague ritual videos.
Any producers out there, movie producers, directors,
Let's
hit your
see.
boy
Does
up.
Rick McCallum still live out there? I mean, fucking Rick McCallum, he produced the fucking Star Wars prequels.
Honestly, all the Star Wars dudes probably live out here, but I have no clue where.
They're probably on the higher side of town.
Yeah, exactly.
um, yeah, because actually you're not that far from there, are you? You're like
No.
ILM's over at the Presidio now.
Yeah, so I'm about in 45 minutes from San Francisco. Pixar's over in Emeryville, so that's maybe like 30 minutes. And then Skywalker Ranch is, I want to say, like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours away. So all that stuff is pretty, their headquarters are pretty local. They're within two
Sure.
hours.
Yeah,
Pixar.
I believe where the ranch is now is still in Marin.
Yes.
Is
Yes.
it's in Marin, and it's I know the it used to be Lucas Valley Road.
It's still called that. So yeah, that's about 40 minutes from where I live. Not terrible.
Hell yeah. That's a total fucking commute. You could, dude, go apply for that job. Fuck. What is your day job?
I work for Frito-Lay.
That okay, so I thought
sling
I thought
chips.
you actually because you used to post a lot of food pictures. I don't know if you still do,
I used to be a
because things
Safeway
get
manager.
lost in the mix.
I used to be a store manager for Safeway.
Okay. Hell yeah.
What do you have out there? Randall's?
No, we have Frito-Lay.
No, what's the I'm trying to think of what Safeway's counterpart would be out there.
Safeway?
Yeah, the Safeway, Vons, Randall's, Tom Thumb. I don't know what you guys have in Kentucky.
Dude, we have Kroger here.
Oh, now Kroger dominates that market.
Yeah, we have so much fucking Kroger. Like, I have one that's like 3 minutes up the road. I have one that's 13 minutes up the road. I have one that's 15 minutes up the road. I mean, it's fucking a lot.
Yeah, they dominate.
And then I could go over to Louisville and hit about another 20 of them or 30 of them, probably.
So yeah, I drive a truck and do sales for Frito-Lay.
Fuck yeah, man. I know some people that, that have done that here for Frito. So hell yeah.
Our bassist does the same thing. Yeah, we work together. It's chill. It's a cool
Hell
job.
yeah.
I like it.
Dude, a few years ago they had the Modern Marvels food series, and Frito was on there. How Frito-Lay was on there, and how the Fritos became the corn chip when they became a thing back in like the 20s
Right.
and shit like that. That was totally fucking rad stuff. But no, I was going somewhere with that, but I can't remember where.
I thought it was crazy they just released a movie about how hot Cheetos were made.
Yeah, dude, that stuff's interesting. But yeah, let me give you some other questions here. What's your biggest pet peeve?
Oh man.
Metal interfuse.
I'll do one music related and I'll do one non-music related. So
Hell yeah.
non-music related, I hate when people chew hella loud with their mouth open.
Oh,
Smacking their
gosh.
food around. Dude, I hate that.
I'm sure with the fucking per capita of people out there versus here, I'm sure you got so many of that.
Oh man. And then music related, when you're playing a show and the opening band doesn't know what a set change is and doesn't know how to get their shit off the stage and takes hella long and then it pushes back the entire show and now the headliner loses time. That
You know
shit
what? I will
sucks.
say that about any fucking body on the set. It doesn't have to be the opening band. It can be
Right.
fucking somebody who's 40 fucking years old that I've seen do this shit. Fuck those
100%.
people.
It
Those
generally
people.
it's the newcomers, and once you kind of just give them a hey dude, like you just have a nice talk with them if they're newcomers, and if they're
You know how I
45 and
fixed
they've
the
been doing
problem?
this for 20 years, then you just be like, bro, what are you doing?
You know how I fixed the problem?
How's that?
I fucking on the shows that I book now, I fucking purposefully book a band who I know will backline shit.
Oh, that's always good to have too. Trust me.
It's like, hey man, do you mind playing our drums? I mean, dude's gonna be playing two sets anyway. So just you in the middle, I mean, gives him a break and it doesn't have to tear down the kit.
I don't backline. I won't let anyone use my gear unless it's a homie or a band we're touring with, because I had just replaced my tubes in my EVH 5150 100-watt head.
Oh shit.
Played a show, and this kid was like, "Oh, hey, can I use your amp? We don't have any other options." And I'm like, "Oh, sure, yeah, go ahead, just be careful." Well, they were the opener and we were the headliner. And he left my amp on the entire time, not on standby, and killed my amp.
Oh my
Went to
god.
play, get on set, and I go, what the
I
fuck
ain't
you
got no
do,
fucking.
dude? And ever since then, I'm like, nope, unless I know you, you are not using my shit.
Yeah, see, when I do that, my thing is like cabinets and shells.
Yeah, cabinets I'm fine with, but amps, that's enough.
Cabinets
Amps
and
and
shells.
guitars, no go.
Yeah, no, nobody's using heads, nobody's using guitars. I mean, the only time I've ever played on anybody else's fucking actually, you know what? Knock on wood, I've never had to play somebody else's bass live. I've
The
always now I've let people play mine live.
The last person to use because my amp and pedal board, and it's all in one. I have a built-in all-in-one with speaker cabinet, head, pedal board, power conditioner. It's just take off the front, hit one button, and turn on your wireless. You're done. And the only person that has ever used that rig other than me is Costa. And then we were on tour with Exmortis, and Chase from Warbringer and Exmortis, his amp wouldn't work, so I let him use that. So those are the only two people who've ever used it.
Right on. Yeah, I mean, I totally get that mentality and everything. If you could come back as a ghost after death, who would you haunt?
Oh, probably my girlfriend. Not in a bad way.
It wouldn't
I
be
just fuck with
Costa.
her. Huh?
It wouldn't be Costa. I'd haunt
No.
Costa just to fuck with him.
Costa would get terrified too easily, and I don't want that man having PTSD and
Oh my
seeing
gosh.
ghosts. And we don't need to
Dude,
have him think he's
he would fucking come back
schizophrenic.
when it was his time. When it was his time and he came back, he would find you and be like, "You were fucking with me this whole time, weren't you?"
Yeah.
Would you rather drive a creepy ice cream truck around or the Oscar Mayer Wiener mobile?
Oh, that's a hard one because I like both options. Two,
Are you a fan of Twisted Metal?
yes, but that's not why. I'm a huge fan of Borat. Borat is
Okay.
my favorite movie. So the ice cream truck If it comes with Borat, 100% the ice cream truck. If not, I am hardcore taking the Oscar Mayer wiener truck.
I would fucking do it just so I could fucking drive it into a tunnel. No, I'm kidding.
I would just roll up to a homie's house and say, "We're having a free barbecue. Grab as much shit out
Holy
the back
shit.
as you can."
Hell yeah, man. Would you rather pierce both eyebrows or both nostrils?
Ooh, probably both nostrils. I have a septum piercing, as you can
Sure.
see. I feel like nose is easier for me. I'm not a big eyebrows guy. I feel like it's easier to rip out.
Yeah, especially if you've got long hair.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind an eyebrow fucking piercing, but I already with the in-ear monitors get my shit fucking, or with the fucking I have an industrial,
Oh
and even with that it fucking gets caught like a motherfucker. So.
yeah. You don't want to rip your eyebrow open. Been there,
Oh
done that.
hell no. Not at fucking all. Dude, I've got one more question. But
Okay,
before
hit
we
me.
get to it, as always, the links are listed below. Give likes, shares, follows, go do all the things and all the stuff. Go buy merch, support these dudes because it's awesome fucking Bay Area fucking metal again. And
Thank you,
it's
brother.
fucking come back. It's a thing. It didn't come back.
It's always been
Never
here.
fucking left. That's right. Fucking dude, Kevin, do you have any shout outs you want to give or anything else you'd like to promote today?
Oh man! Shout out to first of all the guys in the band. Shout out to Costa, to Ben, to Mark, to Dylan. Fucking, we wouldn't be doing any of this without you guys. Shout out to the whole Bay Area metal scene because you guys are my family and I fucking love you. Shout out to the Hatred Boys because they're still some of my best friends. Shout out to Nick. Shout out to Violence. They're having the time of their lives over in Europe right now. And shout out to the band Doomsday. Those dudes are the homies, and they just released a new album, and it is some badass fucking thrash. So you guys should check that shit
Is that
out.
who you produced?
No, also check out 1080. I produced them.
Yeah, Purdue. Yeah, let's check them out because
Not
you
out yet.
produced
It'll
them.
come out next month. I'll keep you in the loop.
Hell yeah, we need to link them up. We need to get them on so we can fucking go on with it. Yeah.
Of course.
And like I said, that's what the links are for. They're for fucking buying merch, supporting, fucking doing all the things and all the stuff. Dude, thank you so fucking much. This has been awesome. I've
Thank you for
I've just
having
loved riffing with you these last couple of hours. And honestly, I love episodes like this in the long form, where you play catch up and everything. But it's not going to be a couple years before you come back because once the album
me.
comes out, you're coming fucking back,
I
and you're
hope so.
dragging Costa and maybe the band on with you.
That is
Fucking
perfectly fine. We can make that happen.
hell yeah, and we need to make it happen of you all coming out here
We will.
to Louisville and getting you
Sooner than
all out
later.
here. Um. I always like to ask a far out question, and this is a really far out question because it has to do with space. And I love space and I like asking about it for other people.
All
But
right.
what do you think lies outside of our known regions that we've seen?
Oh shit. So I'm really into all this stuff as well. I like hearing all the UFOs and the conspiracies and it's just fun to hear about. I don't know how much is true, how much is not true, but I just like what I like.
Hell
Um
yeah.
I don't know how true it is. I heard there was a video that came out the other day, someone talking about it, that there was a experiment done in Russia, and they said that they could see where the electron particles or something happen when you die, and they are able to take the whatever it is and write it into a code. Then they were able to attach the code to whatever those electrical things are. And they said they had the first study on someone, and then they said when they died, they found that electric code like 6 galaxies away in a matter of like a day. And they were like, that's not possible. So I'm like, they were like, when we die, Do we go to a different galaxy? Is it just a alternate reality? Or does everyone go somewhere else? So I was like, I don't know, maybe every galaxy out there, shit out there is just a parallel fucking universe, and I think it just
Maybe
goes
we
on
become
and
stars.
on and on and on and on. That's what I think it is.
You know,
I think there could be life. I think 100% there's probably life out there.
sure.
Because it is, we don't even know how big it is. So it goes on forever. So the chances of there not being anything, I feel, is ridiculous. But yeah, I think it's either parallel universes that go on forever and ever and ever and ever, like when you hold up a mirror to a mirror, and or it's tons of planets and there's probably life somewhere fucking out there.
Sure. You know, like I totally think something like Stargate was attainable at some point.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Fucking being able to travel between fucking galaxies through like a wormhole like that. Hell yeah. I'm totally there with you. And you know, the fact that it's streamed consciousness and such, that's where it's at, man. I'm totally down with it.
yeah, I mean I heard about a thing about a supercomputer being so fast that it has to
Thinking machine supercomputer.
it dives into an it's so fast that they said it goes into a alternate reality to get the answers, and they haven't figured out how it does that, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, we are, I think, so close as humanity to finding out something so extreme in the next, probably at some time in our lifetimes,
Yeah,
that we will
in the
see,
next 30 to 40 years.
we will see and or hear of something nutty. Whether it is, I think we're gonna get some nutty answers. But that's what I think.
Hell yeah. Dude, thank you so fucking much. This has
Thank
been
you.
awesome. Appreciate it. Send metal to the dudes, and we'll fucking get you guys on again here soon.
Let's
And
send the
it'll be
plague
fucking
down
grand
your way.
times. And we'll totally do even a longer form version.
Like, we can do whatever you like. I'm easy.
Hell yeah, man. Fucking what else are we playing on the way out today?
Oh, let's do Behind the Knife. That's a fast one. That's a fun one.
Behind the
All
knife.
right, brother.
Thanks, brother. See you soon, brother.
Thank you.
The truth is a fucking knife. It cuts deep and it cuts both ways. Which end of the buck knife are you holding? The handle or the blade? You don't even know. I'm not a bad man. I'm just another lost soul, searching for forgiveness in this wicked, wicked world.
Saviors
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the ultimate underground metal tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast. An independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series.
Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit Shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The Sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code METALFORGE10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Sit back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code MetalForge10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.
In a broken wasteland, come to my fire and place your blood and steel upon